Welcome back to Initiative Reviews. Today we'll be covering Disney Plus's The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Amazon Prime's Invincible, and Netflix's The Way of the House Husband. I'm your host, Darrin Bradley. I don't have any notes. I'm wearing shades. This was last minute. Hope you enjoy. But first, if you could follow us on our social media platforms at Afro Anime Initiative on Facebook and Instagram. And on Facebook, we have a group and a page, like them both. And on Twitter at Afro_AI, and right here on YouTube at Afro_AI. Hey, and while you're on YouTube, hit the like, share, subscribe button, comment, notifications, all those crazy YouTube things so you know you don't miss an episode. Man, this is last minute, so hence the shades. Don't worry about it. Everything's cool. But let's just get right into it. Disney Plus's The Falcon and Winter Soldier, Episode 5 was amazing. I think this show from top to bottom has been amazing. The characterization of Sam Wilson, exploring deeper into Bucky from the MCU, because there's a lot of stuff going on psychologically with Bucky that you don't think that they'll be able to do well, but the actor, Mr. Stan, awesome, fantastic. And shout out to Anthony Mackie too with Sam Wilson, because he's doing a lot of stuff that's covering a lot of aspects of Black America, which you honestly kind of thought Marvel would cover, but you didn't think they would cover. But you're super happy that they are covering it, and you're glad they pissing off certain groups of people with it. It's been amazing. Well, let's kick off. Well, this episode, spoilers ahead, by the way. This episode 5, opens up with our new Captain America running away from a murder he just committed on a supervillain. Or not even a supervillain, just a kid trying to save the world from what they think is wrong. Yeah, they was a super soldier, but they weren't a murderer. Not this one, anyway. And you just see him running. You're like, you running away from the crime scene, homie. If you did right, why are you running away from the crime scene? And we get into what's going on with Captain America. He is breaking down. He's don't know what's happening. He's thinking about his friend who just died in the last episode. He is losing it. Well, of course, Sam and Bucky catch up to him. They're like, yo, what you doing? Bro, you can't be doing that. You gotta give up that shield. And dude, like, no. Why are y'all making me do this? Right then and there, psychological break, because he's blaming everybody for what he has done off the bat. And we actually get a really cool fight scene, which is the only major fight scene in this episode, and I thought it was really good. It's Falcon and what Bucky, or should I say, Black Falcon and White Wolf against John Walker, Captain America, and it is beautiful. It's super choreographed. Dopest part, Sam does the leg sweep with the wings. I'm just talking about some straight Mortal Kombat. Knocked out. Oh, it was dope. But they fight him down. They bust him up. They finally get the shield back, and they take John Walker in. And we go through this whole thing where John Walker talks about the U.S. military made him. Y'all turned me into a killer. This is what y'all made me do, and now you mad because I did it. Even though he did actually kill the wrong person. The person that killed his friend, the person that committed the actual crime. The woman responsible for the murders of people a couple of episodes ago, she's the one who kills his friend. She got away. He literally killed the wrong person. And it goes again to culpability. Like, people who get punished for doing stuff, you know, they doing it sanctioned. They were sanctioned to do Captain America and Battlestar, his sidekick, or sanctioned by the U.S. government to go do this stuff. But it's like, yo, they still committed crime. They got to be held responsible. Of course, he isn't. They just not discharge him, but kind of discharge him. So he's out of the army, but not dishonorably. So they still take, like, no responsibility for him. And I'm sorry, yo. I got phones going off. My bad, my bad. But yeah, so we get into a lot of that. And that's a really cool conversation about what that is. Like, what is the purpose? If this is what you're going to do, how you going to be mad at them about it? And I think I mentioned this on a main podcast, Afro Anime Initiative, about, like, will there be people held responsible for their actions? Because we know a lot of people do stuff and everybody be like, nah, that's cool. You the right color to get away with that. So, but nah, it look like he's been held responsible, or maybe not, because at his trial or hearing, Contessa shows up. And there are a lot of people who don't know who the Contessa is, but if you read comic books, or if you just read Jonathan Hickman's Secret Warriors, the Contessa is Madam Hydra. Hydra might still be around, which I think is super cool because, okay, at first I was a real good fan, a real big fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but, you know, like most people are just like, what are y'all doing? This is really weird. Not even that it wasn't connecting to the MCU, it just wasn't a good show anymore. But there's this one scene, right? After, I believe, Captain America Civil War. No, was it Civil War? No. It's after Captain America and Winter Soldier, where Hydra is defeated, right? Hydra is taken out of the picture. They have a map showing all the Hydra locations that they know about, and they disappear off the map one by one. They blink out, and I'm like, wait, that's a whole year of shows where y'all could go around the world rounding up more Hydra agents and getting into other adventures while you fighting Hydra agents. But no, one scene, somebody staring at the screen, and all the spots where Hydra existed just blinking off. What? Really? It could. So the return of Hydra in a better, a more sneakier, more corporate way, even more sinister than, you know, infiltrating the government, actually sounds really cool. And if they doing it that way, awesome. And I love that it was Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Whoa, what, she got like 18 Emmys, and she pops up in Falcon and Winter Soldier. You know she finna get a movie role. It's gonna be dope. So we got, that's John Walker. That's his story then. But then we got Sam and Bucky. We got Bucky going after Zemo. You know, Zemo escaped last episode. Bucky confronts Zemo, and Bucky's like, you know, I was gonna kill you, man. Like, I'm just gonna finish it. And Zemo's ready for it. Like, come on, do what you gotta do, bro. You know, I wasn't doing this. I had a goal, and that's the goal. No more super soldiers. But you know what you gotta do. And Bucky pulls out the pistol, aims at him. No bullets. Bucky's like, nah, I'm not doing this. I'm better than this. I'm not falling back into the old me. And Zemo like, cool. So Zemo like, what you gonna do? And Bucky like, I ain't gonna do nothing. The Dora Milaje show up, they arrest him, they're gonna take him to the raft. I find kind of weird. I know I'm talking a little fast, sorry. I find it really weird that the Wakandans are taking him to the raft. How many people have broken out of the raft? Half of them have been Avengers. I'm just saying, take him to Wakanda. Y'all got better security. But I also like they take him to the raft because that might set up, besides a breakout, we might get the Thunderbolts. And for those who don't know, the Thunderbolts are basically Marvel's counter version of the Suicide Squad, except they go kill, they don't get killed. Love the Thunderbolts. Classic Thunderbolts is one of my favorite comic books. I love the Thunderbolts. Don't worry about it. If Thunderbolts show up, it should be dope. And if Zemo's going to be a part of it, like he is in the comic books, the original group, it should be fantastic. Especially this Zemo. This Zemo is so good. He's subtle, manipulative. He's, you know, genius, the whole rich thing. And he's a trained special ops soldier. Zemo. Love him. MCU Zemo. Fantastic. Okay, so that's Bucky's story arc really for this episode. But then we got Sam. Sam is, you know, he like, yo, you can't do this. But he's like, well, am I ready to do this? Should somebody pick up the shield, or should the shield be put away? He goes to visit Isaiah Bradley, the first super soldier, the one who got experimented on before, you know, Captain America got his. You know, the black man who they incarcerated for 30 years and experimented on. And Isaiah Bradley tells him his whole story, which is actually from the comic books, Red, White, and Black. Beautiful graphic novel. Go pick it up. It should still be in print. I know it's on Comixology. And it's just, it's heartbreaking what they did to him just because of his skin color. And the parallels about the things he did and the things that Captain America did, but Steve Rogers got praised for it. And this man got punished. Again, because of his skin color. And, you know, they didn't want them to tell the story that there's a black superhero, a Captain America with super soldier powers out there. They didn't want that to happen. But his backstory is tragic. He tells Sam, like, I don't know how you can call yourself a respectable black man and you want to put that shield on and represent that flag. But Sam, also, he's a soldier too. He's been through a lot. He knows what that representation means because his nephews, when he takes the shield back home, his nephews see the shield, they want to play with it. They like, oh, that's so cool. Captain America, so cool. Sam has to also deal with that. Yes, the past is tragic. The past is filled with trauma. There's still hope in that past, and we shouldn't let the trauma outshine that hope. And Sam says that there are things that must be done to keep that hope alive. I didn't mean to do that catchphrase, but it came out. And Sam's like, it's time to pick up the shield. And we got a lot of other cool moments in there where you have Sam losing his original wings, and they go to Torres, the dude that's been helping him from the army side. Torres is a comic book character who becomes the Falcon in the book. In the comic book, so hopefully we see him with Sam's old wings, and Sam get an upgrade because Bucky brings him a gift towards the end of the show. A gift from Wakanda, and it might be some new vibranium wings. Can't wait to see that and more Wakanda tech in the MCU now that Tony's gone. So that looks great, because this episode was more of that calm before the storm, even though any sailor would tell you there's never a calm before the storm. There's always signs. But this is setting up for the last episode, which I already can see people complaining. All they did was punch. Well, yeah, still action in it, but you just had a whole episode where we only had one fight scene. The rest of it was talking. It was discussing. It was figuring this stuff out. It was talking about the real world consequences of half the world coming back and what we're going to do to them, and the people in power who don't care as long as they stay in power. And that's stuff that we got to deal with today. This show is addressing it. It's addressing racism. It's addressing police brutality. It's addressing PTSD of our soldiers after they come home from war. And then we're going to get to the fun stuff with the punching. But you still got to go through this, and it was done well. The Falcon and Winter Soldier is literally one of the best things on streaming right now. And if you have Disney Plus, it's a must watch. Even if you're not a Marvel fan, you will enjoy the writing, the dialogue, the characterization. The acting is top notch. The acting is movie quality level. And I think that's what television has become, especially with the streaming services, that you can't do something what we would call old school network television with 1,000 commercials in a half-hour show. No, it's movie quality, streaming service, and it can literally transfer over into the big screen. Like I said, I can't wait to see some of the crossover with these shows and the movies yet, and it won't be a dip in quality. If anything, the shows might even upgrade some of the movies with the writing and the characterization, because these shows are doing a great job. Like, I'm more interested in the MCU version of Bucky than I ever thought I would be. I just thought it was cool looking, because the comic book version, there's a lot of stuff I didn't think you could transfer over. But they're doing a great job thanks to the Disney Plus shows, and Sebastian Stan's performance is wonderful. There's a lot of stuff that I actually did not like about Sam Wilson as Captain America in the comic books, which they are kind of fixing here, except for one thing. Sam Wilson in the comic books, I think, kind of looks a little bit better. But we'll see. We haven't seen the final Falcon uniform yet for the show. But there's some things here I think they fixed and done well a little bit better in the comic book on Sam Wilson's side, especially about deciding who's he going to be. Is he going to be the Falcon? Is he going to be him? Is he going to be Captain America? And this episode goes a long way to seeing what his decision is going to be, because it might be a mixture of all of those things, because he is all of those things. Once again, Falcon and Winter Soldier, or as I like to call it, Black Falcon and White Wolf, is kind of dope. And it's expanding the universe and making you just crave more. There is an after credit scene here. No shock to anybody that's been paying attention, but after credit scene, we see John Walker in a workshop with some metal and a uniform, building himself his own shield. We are seeing the birth of U.S. Agent. Think it's dope. So we're going to have a nice big showdown. It looks like we're going to have Winter Soldier, Captain America, Falcon, U.S. Agent, the Flag Smashers, who are super soldiers too, by the way, and the Power Broker. Everybody clashing together in the last episode. So hopefully an hour of beautiful nonstop action with, of course, some scenes for plot development. I mean, come on, guys. That's what it is with these television shows. So yeah, can't wait. Woo! Like I said, no notes, guys. Shades, long nights, early mornings. But we got to get the show must go on. Let's talk about our next topic. Amazon Prime's Invincible. Oh, man. Woo, boy. This show, if you haven't heard me gush about this on the main podcast, let me get into details now. This show is incredible. Robert Kirkman's Invincible has always been one of the high marks in comic books for its writing, its characterization. It's just phenomenal perspective on the superhero genre, and like it get down and dirty when you're dealing with aliens, genetic clones, mystical creatures, magic, sentient robots. Just, it gets down and dirty. It's not all, hey, it's not bloodless. Blood's involved. And in a world where superpowered beings coexist with regular humans, casualties and innocent bystanders, all that stuff is real. All that stuff is real, and that stuff is well displayed here. Amazon Prime's Invincible is, honestly, I believe, one of the best animated shows out there right now. And not even because of the violent aspects. No. It is because it takes the source material. Because the comic book is fantastic. The comic book was whatever, one of the best comic books ever written. And it takes those elements and actually digs deeper. I've talked about this before on the podcast, that it is showing stuff that we didn't see in the comic book, or showing the background of stuff that we only get like in a panel on a comic book. But this is animation, so you could have multiple things going on at once. It shows that. It shows, say, in a comic book, if you're at one part in a story and you're reading other stuff is going on. But in the animated show, they're showing what was happening while other stuff was going on. It gives the characters even more depth than they already had in the comic book. Let's start off with the hero's Invincible Mark, his mother. His mother, she's just a housewife at the beginning of the comic book. And an event takes place where she becomes kind of an alcoholic, but she also goes to get her real estate license. Well, in the show, she starts off as a real estate agent. Great change. So she's already just not a housewife. She's her own person doing her own thing outside her husband's and her son's superhero activities. So that's one. But as events get more and more involved in danger with her son being a superhero, we see her alcohol abuse grow. Instead of it being one major event that triggers it, it's that gradual buildup, which is more realistic when it comes to alcoholism. It's not just one bad day and I suddenly pick up a drink for the first time. No, it's a gradual buildup. First, it's cool, it's social, once in a while, but now every day, every meal, every other second, it grows and grows and grows. And we see that until she gets to a breaking point. We see her being more intelligent, or shown as more intelligent. She's smart in the comic book too, don't get me wrong, but in the animated series, she catches clues. She figures stuff out on her own. She's way more independent and more crafty. I would say crafty, even though people think that's a negative word. I don't think it is. She's more crafty than she is in the comic book. That's fantastic. There's another character named Amber, Mark's girlfriend. Mark is invincible, by the way. I'm so sorry. Our main superhero. She is way more assertive, and not just a girl in high school. She has her own interests. She likes her own things outside of her relationship with Mark. She has friends, In the original, she is there kind of, but she's the girlfriend. That's her characterization until we get to her finding out about his superhero abilities. All that's out the door. She's already her own person fleshed out before Mark even meets her. We just get to learn more about her. I love those type of changes from the animated series to the comic book, which brings me to the actual episode. Episode 6? I want to say 6. It might be 5 or 6. Again, no notes. Sorry. In this one, Mark is trying to make decisions. Mark just got out of a big superhero battle where his team won, but they all got beat up pretty bad because of Mark's bad decisions. The team came to save him. So Mark missed a very important date with Amber, and Amber is like, yo, I'm breaking up with you. But, his friends, his superhero friends, this girl named Eve, or Atom Eve, she comes and covers for him, said he got hit by a bus. And the way he looks after that villain fight, he looks like he got hit by a bus. But their relationship is real tenuous. But Mark is like, yo, maybe we go to this college campus, figure some stuff out, everything will be okay. The thing is, they do. Everything's going to work out in the relationship until supervillain attacks. Mark has to go change into his costume to go help his friends to save him from this villain attack. But it looks like Mark, the person, runs away when the hero shows up. Amber catches that, and she's like, yo, I'm breaking up with you. You left us. You abandoned us. And Mark can't explain because he hasn't told her that he's invincible. So the relationship is over. But during this process, Mark gets closer with his best friend, who in the comic book finds out super early that he's a superhero. In the show, it's been a while. He doesn't know until this moment, and it really, 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 really shows to me a better balance between keeping your identity secret in a superhero in this type of world, and what you need to do, and who you can trust and who you can't. And this is a really cool dynamic showing, like, when his friends discover it, how that affects them, what they got to do, how they treat Mark differently, what they ask for him. It takes about 3 or 4 issues in the comic book for that. We get about 2 good scenes in the show. Well done, well written, and well animated. Oh, this show, guys, if you haven't read the comic book, don't worry. This show looks so good, and it looks so close to the beautiful artwork in the comic book. It's just gorgeous. Amazon Prime did real good picking the studio for this, and I'm sorry, don't have notes. Studio they picked great. They were perfectly chosen for this, and it looks like they really studied the comic book, that they really read and looked at the art and went to the artist and said, yo, I'm down with this. We can copy this and turn it into an animated style. And it shows. It's great. So yeah, so with Invincible, we basically end off with him without a girlfriend. The relationship between his father, Omni-Man, and his mother, Splinter, because she knows about some dirty deeds that he's done, and him trying to still cover it up and play like, no, everything's fine. She's like, yo, I'm not stupid. Love it. We got Mark's friend who just lost his friend because the supervillain got to them, and now that relationship is a little askew because maybe Mark wasn't there to help in time. And Adam Eve, like I said, the other superhero friend Mark has, she's out there saving the world basically. So it ends with everybody going to bed, everybody's sad but her, because she's doing out there just literally being honest with herself. Because the reason a lot of everybody else is in danger or feeling bad, because there's not a lot of honesty. And the show conveys that it's so emotionally connected before you even realize that you're invested in the hearts of these people and not their fist and what they're punching, because it displays real human reaction to this type of world when you will have aliens, like I said, cyborgs and random attacks and supervillains popping up out of nowhere, but superheroes dying out of nowhere. And it's like, how do you live in this world? How do you cope in that world mentally? And it's shown in a way which I think live action can't do if the actors are a little off, but animation can do with a couple of good pen strokes, and I'm really feeling it. Really, really feeling it. So check it out, Amazon Prime's Invincible. And to borrow a wrestling term for our main event, a show I got put on by my friend Big Josh. Shout out to Big Josh, man. Thank you for this. Netflix's The Way of the House Husband. Oh my God, the concept of this show. The Way of the House Husband is a former Yakuza boss, after one night of rampaging through the gang turfs of Japan, retires. He just quits to marry someone he loves and cares about and become a house husband. And I mean a regular house husband. Cooks, cleans, takes care of the household pet, does the shopping, does the laundry, and it is phenomenal. I just heard about it. Like I said, just heard about it. I know there's a manga. There's 7 volumes. I'm going to try to catch up on the manga. I believe the manga is also on Comixology. Don't quote me on that. Man, okay. It's something that you guys can digest super easy. There's 7 episodes, but each episode has about 5 or 6 3-minute or 2 to 3 minute episodes in it. They're quick, fast, and just fun. It's how the world reacts to him with this scary gangster crime boss man with a scar down his face. It's how he reacts to the world, where he conveys everything in gangster terms. Like he goes to a yoga class with some of the other housewives, and which he calls like the elder or older housewives, or the more elder ladies. He calls them the boss ladies. He bows down to them like he would a crime boss. When he goes to a yoga class, and as he's doing the yoga poses, the instructor is like, hey, what do these poses remind you of? And you think it might be something sexual or something. No. He's like, oh, this reminds you when you have to put 2 in somebody's head for snitching. And they're like, huh? Or like, oh, this one reminds you when you disrespected the boss and he have to give you some cement shoes and throw you into the river. And it's just like it's things like that. And it's so funny and so fast. You don't even realize when it's over. And it's just really quirky and intelligent, but also just fun viewing. One of the best episodes, and this is one of the first episodes too, by the way, where he has to babysit for one of the housewives who have to run off to work. And the kid's afraid of him. Again, this is giant, scary man with a scar on his face, look like a gangster, wearing a suit under his anime apron. He wears an apron over his gangster suit. And the kid's scared, but they're playing around. They're having fun. But he's teaching the kid how to roll dice, how to play mahjong, how to do betting. And the kid's like, these aren't games for kids. So he shows his wife's anime collectible. And he's like, hey, you want to play with this? The kid's having fun playing with it. But the kid trips and breaks it. The kid thinks he's in trouble. But the Yakuza boss, his name is Tatsu. I'm so sorry. His name is Tatsu. Tatsu comes up to him and says, no, this is how we deal with this. When you do something, you have something, when you have a problem, you make a mistake, you solve it. And one of my former bosses used to tell me the best way to solve it is to bury it 6 feet. He takes the figurine and the kid and the canister and a shovel. They put the figurine in the canister. They walk a couple of blocks away. They go out into a field and bury the figure with the kids watching. And Tatsu is telling them these stories like, this is how you solve a problem. You bury it 6 feet under. But the wife walks past and she says, what are you two fellas up to? He turns around, gives her like one of those mean gangster looks, bows down and rats himself out. This is what happened. We broke the figure. We're so sorry. She just pulls out some crazy glue and they go fix it. And they go home. It's cool stuff like that. I thought this was super delightful. It was probably one of the best things I've seen in a long time. And again, animation is great, and its characterization, voice acting on both sides, English and Japanese, perfect for every character, even the side characters. It is a wonderful. So go check out The Way of the House Husband right now on Netflix. Netflix. First season is there. And if you can, check out the manga. And if you get to it first, let me know. Tell me if you read the manga in the comic books. And hey, tell me if you're following The Falcon or Winter Soldier on Disney+. And definitely check out Invincible on Amazon Prime and read the comic book too. Comicsology for everything you want to catch up on the comic book side of all this cool geek stuff. So I've been Darren Bradley. Thank you for watching. And again, follow the initiative on all our social media. Afro Anime Initiative on Instagram and Facebook. And again, on Facebook, we have both a group and a page. Follow them both. And follow us at Afro_AI on Twitter and right here on YouTube. Catch you on next review. Peace.